And welcome to our first sneak peek of our new UI. Today, we will be joined by Karen Wood, Senior Director of Product Marketing at Acquia, and Zach Winthy, Master Solutions Engineer at Acquia. Just a few housekeeping items before we get started. If you have any audio issues, please send them in the Q&A tab and I will assist you. If you have any questions for the presenters, please submit them in the Q&A tab as well, and they will answer them and get back to you at the end of the presentation. And lastly, slides and recording of this webinar will be posted to acquia.com and also sent to you via email within the next few days. So without further delay, Karen, I will pass it over to you.
Thanks so much, Megan. Pleasure to be here. So yeah, I'm going to walk you through just a few contextual slides to sort of set the stage for the demo and the demo of the new UI. As Megan said, my name is Karen. I'm the Senior Director of Product Marketing here at Acquia. My focus is on our Marketing Cloud solutions. So I'm going to, again, kind of set the context a little bit about that just for a couple of minutes, and then we'll dig into taking a look at the new UI. But I'm really excited to be here to showcase this for you. We're really thrilled about the new look and feel for our CDP and for all of our Marketing Cloud products. So yeah, so you want to go to the next slide just to kind of set the context about who is Acquia in the first place. We're the leader in the digital experience platform space, and our portfolio consists of basically two solution groups. Our first solution group is what you see on the left-hand side, called Drupal Cloud, and that helps marketers and IT leaders manage customer experiences by way of content. And then Marketing Cloud, that we're going to drill into a little bit today, helps marketers and IT leaders and businesses really help drive experiences by leveraging data. So again, that's what we're going to kind of drill into here today. One of the things I wanted to also highlight is the range of different customers that we support. So just a quick peek at our sample logo list of some of our customers who use Acquia CDP, Acquia Marketing Cloud. I mean, typically it's mid-market, it's enterprise, brands that have data that live in a lot of different places and want to optimize that data, really activate it to drive experiences across different channels. There's sort of the common theme across these different companies who use our solution. So yeah, again, we've been in business for a long time. And if you go to the next slide, one thing I want to point out to when we get into the CDP is we have, like I said, a lot of different types of customers. We've also been in the space for quite a while. So Acquia, we have the #1 CDP in the industry. This little graphic here is from the Real CDP report. That's from the Customer Data Platform Institute. We have been, audited and reviewed and found to have the most comprehensive CDP on the market in terms of capabilities and so forth. And again, that's a testament to how long we've been in the market and how we've been working really closely with our customers and with a pretty wide range of brands to really deliver a best of breed approach. So I'm excited that you'll get a chance to really dig into some of these features here today when we pivot over to the demo, and also see it in the glossy new UI that we have to showcase the new look and feel. One other thing I wanted to touch on is just kind of, obviously we've got kind of a list of features that we're really great at, but just what makes us different from other CDPs. A CDP, or a customer data platform, is a really hot buzzword right now. So there can be some confusion about how one CDP might be different from a different CDP, and just kind of what the range of solutions are that are out there. We're at the forefront of this market. And so again, we've had a long time to really evolve and grow our platform to be best of breed. Really the 5 things that set our CDP apart from others that might be out there are, for #1, data democratization. And you'll see this when we get into the demo. We make it really easy for lots of different types of people to access data, to understand that data, and then to use that data so that they can deliver a more tailored experience to customers, regardless of how they're engaging with them. So data democratization, we have a lot of, again, like bells and whistles that go into that, at the end of the day, just make it really easy for lots of different people to use our data. Another differentiator is what we call our total 360 view of the customer. Also kind of a buzzword, 360 view, but we actually have a very complete 360 view in terms of unifying data from online and offline sources, even homegrown systems that you might have. All of that can be ingested and unified into a single view. And I know that that's part of what the demo will be, is what does that look like? If you want to look at a customer what are all the elements that you can see about that customer. Ours is very robust and very unique in terms of the quality of the data output that process gives you, and then also just the way that you can interact with that single profile. Another differentiator is our machine learning. We'll touch on that a little bit in the demo today as well. We've been at this for a long time. We have very sophisticated machine learning models and clusters, recommendations built into the platform that are accessible through the analytical reports that you might want to interpret about your customer base, and then also for activation, for driving campaigns based on machine learning segments. I mentioned our experience and scale. I mean, again, we have a very robust, experienced platform that is proven and sort of speaks for itself. But again, if you look at the landscape of technologies that are out there for managing data, there are a lot of new kids on the block that don't have that depth and breadth and support for different scale and use cases that a lot of brands have. And then finally, we are not just on an island of a customer data platform. We're part of Acquia Marketing Cloud, which is a full featured suite of not only data management, but data activation solutions, and of course, part of Acquia and the strength of Acquia's digital experience platform. So, so all of that together does make us rather unique in the market. And then just one more slide I think I have before I kick it over to the demo, is that we are going to ensure your journey is successful. So not only do we have this best of breed platform, but we work really closely, like as a philosophy, Acquia works closely with our customers to set them up for success. And our goal is to provide quick wins, immediate ROI, showcase the success of the platform, and then build and grow upon that. And if you go to the next slide, you know, there's a whole range of different things that you can do with the platform. And a lot of times it can be difficult for companies to know kind of where to start and how to grow the program. We really like to partner with our customers to build that roadmap for success, really help prioritize and rank the use cases in terms of like what's the low-hanging fruit, what's going to have the highest impact, and so on. So again, you know, we understand that customers, while the technology is exciting, it's the success that really lets you build upon the program and really transform your business. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and skip on to the demo. I'm going to turn things over to Zach, and Zach can introduce himself, and then he will walk you through our glorious new UI with Acquia CDP that we're all here for today. Thanks again. Over to you, Zach.
Thanks, Karen. Yeah, as Karen said, we'll be going through the demo. My name is Zach Winthy, Master Solutions Engineer, focusing on our Marketing Cloud products here at Acquia. I've spent over 10 plus years in the MarTech space, running digital strategy, implementation, design. Before that, I was on the marketing side, so lots of experience, working in the space. I'm very excited about what we offer here at Acquia. But nobody's here to see me and my face talk all day. So let's jump into the fun part and focus on the demo. And so today, feel free, please ask questions. Post them in the in the chat, and we will we'll loop around back to them at the end. But with that, today I want to walk you through a kind of a day in the life of a marketer with our CDP. And really, today's flow, we're gonna cover on kind of four distinct and key areas. So we're going to start off and understand really what is the data that we are able to kind of bring together into a platform. What is that total 360 profile that Karen mentioned, and what does that look like from a marketer's perspective? Once we have that single unified view of the customer, how do we take that and drive insights and understanding from that new unified data set? Once we have insights, then we need to do something with it. We need to be able to activate that, and we're gonna build a campaign specifically to activate first-time buyers and try to get them to become a repeat purchaser. And then the last step is, how do we automate this? And through tools like machine learning, build automated growing segments, cohorts, and groups to drive advanced marketing campaigns through machine learning. So with that, let's go ahead and start at the first one. And the first part of the day is we really want to understand and discover the data that's available in a 360. So as a marketer, I can work and I can start at a very micro view. So with this, I'm going to jump in. I'm right here in our new UI, and I'm going to we're just going to look up a current customer. So search for Katie Cartwright here, and I will log into her profile. And what I'm going to see when I log in is a quick dashboard view of her entire kind of history. So revenue, events, transaction counts and everything. And this looks great. Katie looks like a single perfect customer. But what we actually know to be true is Katie is actually made up of 10 different profiles. She's got different identities from, a variety of sources. So this could be from an e-commerce ERP point of sale system. It could be from a CRM. It could be from an email system. Maybe there is some other data coming in from, partnerships, contests, third party, wherever those sources may be. All those get fed together and brought through what we call our identity resolution engine. And that allows us to resolve all of these unique profiles into a single master customer ID. And having that master customer ID allows us a lot of opportunities now to look at all of the other data that's attached to that profile. For example, the full journey that Katie has taken with our company, right? So I can see that Katie has had some product browse information. She's updated her cart. She's even made a support call. We support both online data as well as offline data. So physical interactions, physical event data can be fed into the system as well. And finally, the goal of the business obviously is to drive revenue. So we want to be able to bring in a full transaction history of Katie's profile. And this is not just that a transaction occurred, but what was the transaction and the full detail behind this. So we can see transaction information, line item detail of the products that were purchased, any discounts that were potentially applied, shipping revenue. Again, all this is customizable to the needs of the businesses that we work with, but being able to bring in this full detail does two things. One, at a micro level, we get a full view of Katie, but at a macro level, we start looking at this across all of our customer set. We can use this for analytics purposes, and more importantly, we can use this for segmentation and targeting purposes of people who have bought based on specific categories, based on specific products, discounts. All of this information feeds together. And finally, it's also available for machine learning. So again, as we have that full robust history of Katie's identities, her journey, her transactions, and any additional customer attributes that we would like to bring in. So we can bring in information if a member's in a loyalty program, the tier, the points. In addition to that, we layer on almost 300 custom calculated derived metrics for our customers. So some of those are things like last transaction date, first transaction date, customer lifetime value, which you saw on the first screen, total transaction counts. We're calculating those for our customers so that they don't have to create these roll-ups and these metrics and feed them to us. We can use it. We can take it in from the raw data. And all of that information then gets fed together and allows us to power machine learning. So again, we can see this at an individual level. We'll talk more about this in detail as we get into the last section of the demo. But I can see all of the outputs of our machine learning at a micro level. We conduct over 1.5 billion machine learning calculations every single day across our entire data sets. And so we have a complete understanding, an actionable understanding of what's going on, whether it's likelihood to engage, likelihood to buy, behavioral clustering, predictive values, or even next best channels, and finally product recommendations. What are the best products or the next products to recommend to Katie and others like her? So now that we've seen a view of Katie and we were able to understand the data that's available in the 360, now we want to step back and look at this kind of at a broader view, and we want to understand the true value of each of our customers at a macro level. So as I talked about, having that individual data is great, but often we're not working, one-on-one with a customer. So we need to kind of switch back and change our view now to a dashboard-driven view. And so I'm going to go and I'm now working in our metrics and our dashboards. And I'm going to go ahead and open up a dashboard that I've previously created. We offer a series of dashboards out of the box, but all these are customizable. All these are changeable for our customers based on the needs of their business, how they measure and how they calculate information. And I'm looking at a specific cohort. So I'm actually I've broken down and saved my audience into 3 segments. So based on revenue, high value, medium value, and low value over the last 12 months. And so I can see some basic information now, again, using some of those calculated metrics about these. So average order value and revenue per customer, based on my revenue segments. I can look at the gender makeup. I can look at transaction counts, how many transactions by the various segments, and all of this is customizable and editable, and you can build your own from scratch. So if I wanted to take a deeper look into into this profile, so I can click into my visualization tool here. It's embedded directly into the platform using the same data that you saw on the 360 profile. And now I'm able to customize this. So I can adjust, I can add additional information besides just maybe average order value and revenue per customer. I can bring in things like total revenue, total cost, margin information if product cost information is getting fed to us from product feeds. So again, a lot of these calculated metrics are available. And now this is a very marketer friendly and very easy way to work with this data. But we also believe very strongly that this is your data, and we want to make this as easy and as accessible as possible. So if you think about this from a marketer perspective, I can come in here and I can quickly add additional information and filter all in a visual format. But if I'm a data analyst and I need to drive a little bit deeper and I want to look at this maybe using SQL, and I actually have a tool called Interactive Queries that allows me to have direct SQL access to the same unified data set. So now, rather than working in a single kind of point and click fashion, if I wanted to create some ad hoc analysis based on any of this customer summary data, I can work with this, and I'm seeing the exact same data in real time. And lastly, we can make all of this data available via Snowflake data sharing. So enterprises can feed this into their own data workflows. They can attach their own additional enterprise BI tools to this, or power internal machine learning modeling that they may like to use. So again, full access to the data, whether you want to do it in a point and click fashion or whether you want to go deeper and use tools like SQL or even Snowflake data sharing. So now that I've had the true value of the customer and I understand kind of where my insights are, I might have derived some understanding. I need to now leverage this information. So again, we're still working with the same data set. Now I'm going to go and create a segment and target my customers. And in fact, I've been tasked with creating a campaign that's focused on driving repeat buying behavior. So let's go ahead and jump back in, and we're going to switch back to we're going to switch back to the CDP and not interactive queries anymore. And I'm going to create a new campaign. And a campaign from a CDP perspective is just is made up of 2 parts. First, it's an audience creation. So I'm going to create an audience. I may further refine that or tweak that audience into a variety of subsegments, which we'll see here in a second. And then I'm going to activate that data. I'm going to send it out to another system. I'm going to do something with that. So in this case, I'm going to do a Facebook campaign targeting first-time buyers and trying to drive second, third, fourth purchase behavior. So I'm going to start with one that I've already created for time's sake, but we'll go ahead and see how we can edit this. So I would name my campaign and I would build my audience. So in here, I'm looking at customers who have placed a transaction 30 to 365 days ago, equal to 1 time. So I have this information where I'm looking at all of my customers who have placed only a single transaction in that time frame, and I want to target them. Now I can further refine this. So if I wanted to limit this to a specific product category, I could further refine this based on product category. I could refine this based on specific products. So if I only wanted to see a single transaction in a specific product line, I can drill down this data even further. For simplicity's sake, we'll leave that. But I have a full range of metrics and rules, we call them rules, that we can use to build very customized, deep audiences from our campaigns. So I can look at, buying behavior, discount rates, transaction dates. When did they make their first transaction? When did they make their last transaction? We can even kind of subcategorize that by, was it a digital transaction? Did they buy online? Did they buy in store? Did they buy through through other channels? So all of that can be customized. Customer attributes, preferences, email, and again, all of those machine learning segments that we saw previously, and we'll come back to that here in a second, all are available to build very customized, robust audiences for our campaigns. And I can also do just that same information on the inclusion side, I can do on the exclusion side. So if I want to exclude any customers from this list, I can easily add this. So I can look at people who have placed a transaction in a certain period of time. I can, if I'm doing an email campaign, I can easily grab people who have opted out of our email campaign. Email opt-out equals yes. And so now I'm going to exclude them from my total audience. So now that I've built out my audience, I'm going to actually refine this because I want to personalize my campaign on Facebook a little bit differently. So I want to target people based on when they placed that transaction, what was that primary channel? Did they buy online or did they buy in store? And so I'm going to use primary sales channel as a segment criteria. So now that I've got my master audience, I want to further refine my segment criteria. And I want to go ahead and create a kind of a sub audience. So I will take my my main audience and I'm going to further break this down by the channels. So I can see here that I've got digital, physical, unidentified, or unknown. I'm not going to worry about the unknown ones yet. So I'm strictly looking at digital and physical. Now, when I'm all said and done, what I'm left with is an output. What content, and what I mean by content is what attributes and data do we need to send to those systems? So in this case, maybe I'm sending, I'm doing a targeted browse campaign. So I'm going to send email and phone number for our matching purposes on Facebook, along with my last 5 products browsed, because we're gonna personalize and do dynamic content on the on the Facebook side. Or if I'm sending this to my email systems, I can pass cart abandonment emails. All of that information can be refined, but I can also add additional details, so promotions, or maybe I'm just going to put a coupon code based on if they're a digital audience, we're going to send them a digital coupon. And if they were my physical audience, maybe they would get a physical coupon. So this could be, for digital audience, maybe it's a free shipping. For the in-store crowd, it's going to be a buy one get 10% off kind of offer, whatever you want to use to drive personalized behavior. When I'm done, I pick my destination, and then I schedule this out to my campaign. So I can do this as a one-time campaign, or I can send this on a recurring basis. So I can have this campaign continuously running, and this will become important here in the next step when we talk about machine learning. So I'm going to go ahead and schedule this once. I can pick a date here tomorrow morning. We're going to push this information off to Facebook. And so now when this campaign runs, it'll evaluate my entire data set, and it'll take anybody who meets this criteria, and it will push this campaign out. So now I've used all of this information that at a micro level was stored against Katie, but I've now looked at this across my entire data set and was able to segment customers intelligently and simply through a variety of mechanisms. Now, that was a very rules-based approach, but what if I wanted to automate that engagement or automate those campaigns based on machine learning? So now we're going to look at a different flavor of a campaign. So same approach where I am using a rules-based approach, but instead of having a manual if this then that type activity, I want to look at this from a likelihood to buy. So now we break down our machine learning models. We have a series of out-of-the-box machine learning models as part of our platform. We break them down into 3 categories. We break them down into our propensity models, which are looking at things like likelihood to buy, likelihood to engage. We can create custom models based on our customers' data, so things like likelihood to subscribe, join a loyalty program, or whatever. But we're calculating and predicting an outcome. Our second model family is our clustering model, and that is looking at we're grouping customers into buckets, and we do that in both a exclusive and non-exclusive manner. What do I mean by that is we can have a product affinity, or a brand affinity if you're a multi-brand retailer, or you're a multi-brand company. We can also look at behavioral based on actions you've taken. An exclusive means everybody gets added to a single bucket or a single cluster. A non-exclusive means you can live into two clusters, right? And you can have a strength in one of those clusters. And the best example I can give of that is think about when you if you buy coffee. So in the morning, I travel for work a lot. I get up, I'm on my way to the airport, I run through a coffee shop, I get a coffee, and it's for myself. And I do this many times a week, before customer meetings, and I have a very distinct Monday through Friday profile. So I would fall into that business behavior cluster. But now on the weekends, I act very differently, right? I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna go, maybe I'll get some coffee. But I have a daughter who likes cake pops, and so I'm gonna end up buying her a cake pop while I'm there. Because I'm a sucker, and because she's got cute eyes. So all of that information on the weekend, I'm a very different person. And so that doesn't mean I have to be in one or the other. I can have a very strong business buyer profile, but I can have a growing weekend warrior profile. And each of those, you can target people differently. You can target based on the strengths of all of those. So again, a lot of customization you'll see within our platform. And then the last one is our predictive outcome. So looking at product recommendations, looking at time to send, predictive lifetime values. So we're looking at the things that matter on a one-to-one basis to a customer, being able to predict the next best action, next best channel, next best product for that customer. So those are our three. Those kind of are our three families. In addition, if a customer has their own machine learning models, they're able to go ahead and feed those data points into us as well. So let's use this. Enough talking about it. Let's put it into action. So I'm going to do a promotion based on a likelihood to buy model here. And so same interaction. I'm looking at people who have placed a transaction, in the last 60 days, but I'm going to add another element here. So I'm going to come down to my machine learning segment, and I'm going to look at my likelihood to buy today. And if the likelihood to buy today is, and we use a decile base, so I'm going to do high, then I want to reach out to them and try to push them over the edge. So I'm creating a campaign based on this information. And now I can further refine and use the segment criteria to kind of target different their different scores if I wanted to. We've seen that, so we'll skip that for time's sake. And again, customer attributes, I can build out all of the information that I need. So I can use, if I was sending this to my email list, first name, last name, any of the other attributes that we are storing against the customers, product recommendations. But I can also bring in, and I'll remove this. Let's go ahead and look at, in addition to product recommendations, and we saw last product browsed, we can also see purchase. So we can look at last product purchased. We can use product recommendations, abandoned cart. So we can power a lot of information, or historical information. So store details, household details, closest store information. So if you want to be able to do a direct mail campaign and you want to personalize the print output with the local, their closest physical store, or same concept in email, you can be able to pass that information along. The address information, the store name, all can be used to personalize your outputs, and that does it on a one-to-one basis. So all said and done, when I'm ready, same logic, I'm going to schedule this. But here's the beauty of this: because I'm using machine learning model that is continuously updating and continuously changing, I can now schedule this on a recurring basis. So I'm going to go ahead and schedule this to run starting tomorrow. We'll have it again at 9 a.m. And it's going to run continuously. So every time somebody meets my initial criteria has made has at least made a purchase and has a high likelihood to buy, they're going to end up in this campaign, and it's going to be a continuously recurring campaign. So again, you can be, as a marketer, leveraging this information for a variety of needs, all at a individualized basis. Again, because we're pushing out this data along with any custom content, any last behavior content, all that information can be used and pushed out to a variety of destinations, whether that is an email system. We talked about direct mail. I used Facebook before, but it can go to a DSP. It can go to an onboarder, like a LiveRamp. It can go to a third party, email system, or it integrates with our marketing cloud. So we can use our Campaign Studio, which is our marketing automation platform. We can push out segments to our personalization tool. So we can do personalized content on the website. So again, we believe in the value of open and leveraging this information. This is your information, and we want to make this available to you. So we are able to use this in any downstream channel that you need. So again, we were able to go through kind of the process from start to finish. We understood the data that was available to us, at a micro level, at an individual level. We were able to drive insights and understanding, as we laddered up and looked at this on a more broad basis. We were able to then activate this data using a rules-based approach. But then we were also able to automate and create automated engagement campaigns based on machine learning. And there's a whole lot more information that we can cover. Today was just a sneak peek. I encourage everyone, if you're already working with someone here at Acquia, to get in touch. We can go deeper and talk about any of these things that you learned today. A little bit more about how potentially how they fit into your organization, and go into greater detail about all of these topics. I could easily spend an hour on each one of these, and oftentimes I do so, but I won't make you sit through that today. So with that, I think we have a few questions that have come in.
Yes, we
so
do.
Karen,
Yeah, I'll go ahead and field them. We have a couple that have come in. The first question that I'll just ask that came in is basically, is Acquia CDP an integration or upgrade of Agile One, and what are the roots or vision behind the CDP? I can speak to part of it, and then maybe you can kind of speak to the other part. So correct, good assumption. This, if you'll recall, about a year and a half, Acquia acquired a company called Agile One, which has been in the CDP space for a really long time. And Acquia acquired Agile One because of the vision of being a leader in digital experience platforms, because a key part of a DXP is having a really robust data management component, which the CDP brought into the Acquia portfolio. But Acquia didn't just acquire Agile One. Acquia quickly got to work integrating Acquia, what's now Acquia CDP, formerly Agile One, integrating that into the rest of Acquia Marketing Cloud. So it would be a kind of all-in-one solution for marketers and for other teams too, but primarily for marketers, to manage data, have that good, clean identity that Zach just walked through, and then make that available natively through Acquia Personalization, which is our website personalization solution, Acquia Campaign Studio, which is our marketing automation platform, and so on. And again, have kind of a whole multi-channel marketing hub, essentially, with the CDP at the core. So that's been the vision. And additionally, Acquia has added a lot of additional capabilities to the platform too. So it's not just literally the technology that was bought, but we added a lot of machine learning capabilities. We added additional analytical capabilities. Zach shared some of the analytics through the dashboard and through the looks. We added quite a bit there. Just new enhancements and so forth. So that's kind of the legacy, and we're continuing along that vision of our DXP leadership and continuing to put content and data at the forefront of what we give to brands in order to drive customer experiences across channels. That was long-winded. Maybe Zach doesn't have anything to add to that, but
no, I think you said it perfectly.
Okay, so yeah, we do have another question. Which is around the identity resolution. So just what are the elements that go into the 360? And I do think you touched on it, but maybe you could just go into kind of all of the things that happen to get to that resolved identity.
That's a great question. So so the identity resolution engine is kind of a 4-step process. So first is standardization. So we standardize and take data, we match it up against national change of address information, postal code validation, phone validation. We look for outliers that are clearly not phone numbers. Sometimes you have a lot of data that's 111, 111, 1111. We don't want to match against those profiles because those are obviously invalid information. So step 1 is standardization. Step 2 is clean and enhance. So we are able to add some additional information through a couple data partners that we work with. I mentioned national change of address is definitely one of them. For address information, we work with a couple other third parties to add information to profiles, demographic information. Again, it just creates a richer matching pool, which allows us to get to the step 3, which is our really is the matching step. And we do both exact matching. So we're matching email address to email address, phone number to phone number, identifier to identifier. But we also do probabilistic matching against a variety of mechanisms. And we have kind of a gold standard that we start with, but it's customizable per business. So we can have very specific business-specific rules around how we match, how we link things together. But we're able to look at not just fuzzy matching, but we're looking at a variety of matching keys and matching pairs that we use to create a match candidates. And then all of those are evaluated in a graph format. So we may have 3 records. Each independently do not link together, but the combination of the 3 are able to create a graph connection. And we will link those profiles together. And then the last step is then we take all of that information, all of that match, we bubble up the master customer ID, we pick the winning email, the winning phone number, and set those as primary based on engagement, interaction, details. We add and enrich any third-party data sources. So if you partner with vendors like a Datalogix or an Axiom or an Epsilon or anybody else who has that, we can append and enrich to your fully resolved profiles at that point. And then we are able to surface all that information into obviously into the platform, send that back out to downstream systems. And we do that in a non-destructive manner, meaning our master customer ID is continuously reevaluated. It's continuously evolved. So as new data comes in, we create, we enrich and enhance those profiles, or as data falls out or data changes, we will update those profiles, which means we're not breaking any of your downstream systems. We're not changing any of and overwriting that. You can choose to use that information to do overwrites if you choose to. But it's also great from a governance. And I know you didn't ask this question, but I think it's important to point. From a governance perspective, I can use this information now to know where all of the data came from. So when I'm looking at Katie, I can match this back to here's our ERP data, here's our ESP data, here's all this information. But if I'm buying data that I'm no longer able to use and I remove that from the system, Katie's profile would self-heal. It would and all of that initial data can be gone. Or from a compliance and GDPR perspective, it also allows you to use that to remove customer profiles, customer information from those source systems so that you can comply with privacy regulators.
Perfect. We have one more question, and then I think that'll be it. But obviously, if anyone else has a question, go ahead and chat it in. But the final question I see here is around size of teams. So the question says, is this tool generally meant for large teams? What if you have a small marketing team? Can you speak to that?
Yeah, so the benefit is the platform can grow. So we can have, as you saw, I was able to do everything. I'm not a developer. I'm a marketing guy, by trade, and I can do everything in a single UI. So you could have a single person team or a 2-person team in here, creating audiences, building dashboards, doing all that information, by themselves. And as you add or as you grow, you can enhance. You can use things like the SQL. You can add initial data science. So it scales to support those large teams. But the beauty is Acquia is there with you. So it's not just, you're not just buying a platform. The other piece that I think is very important is the fact that you're supported by an entire team. So we have our account management team, we have our customer success team, we also have our marketing cloud consultants. And the marketing cloud consultants are people who are there to help you not only get the best use of the platform, but build that playbook. What should you be doing first? What should you be doing second? How do you do this in a CDP? I want to target a direct mail campaign. What's the best way to create that audience, target, create refinements. So again, for small teams, you actually are kind of doubling up your capabilities by leveraging a CDP in a company like Acquia, because you're getting support for your marketing team to leverage this platform. And for our largest customers, obviously you're getting support to make sure that you can evangelize and democratize the data throughout the entire organization. So we have customers who will started with 2 or 3 people using data, and now 100 and some plus, members of the organization are using the analytics and reports to, so that they're all talking the same source of truth. So we hit both ends of the spectrum.
Well said. All right, well, that completes the questions. Thanks to everyone for joining us for today's webinar. Just really quickly, want to learn more about our CDP or what a CDP can do. We have an ebook that's available. I'm sure that Megan will share the link when she follows up after the fact.